Part 6. Wealth starts within. Most people think money comes from the outside, from jobs, from investments, from luck or timing. But the truth is deeper. Money begins within. In your beliefs, your values, your quiet decisions when no one's watching. In this final part of the book, we explored the hidden roots of wealth. We saw how financial outcomes are often reflections of inner patterns, inherited or chosen, and how what we carry inside can either grow wealth or silently push it away. You learned that greed has a cost, not just in lost money, but in lost peace, and that kindness, honesty, and integrity often pay dividends you can't see at first, but feel for a lifetime. We looked at the invisible inheritance passed down through generations, not just assets, but fears, not just teachings, but blind spots, and how each of us has the power to break old cycles and plant new seeds. You saw that small choices matter, that the way you treat others, speak the truth, or forgive someone, all of it becomes part of your financial reality. And finally, we ended with a simple but powerful shift. Don't just try to gain. Become someone else's gain. Let your wealth be measured by how you uplift others, because that kind of wealth cannot be taxed, stolen, or lost. This part wasn't about money management. It was about self-awareness, about healing, about wholeness, because true wealth doesn't begin with strategy. It begins with character. And when your inner world is rich, your outer world will follow. Chapter 31. Wealth has roots. You might think your money problems are about income, or that wealth comes from smart investments, high-paying jobs, or business strategies. But here's the truth. Most people never learn. Money is not just about what you do. It's about who you are when no one's watching. The roots of wealth grow beneath the surface, in silence, in the dark, long before the world sees any results. Ethan had always believed in hustle. He built his startup from scratch, worked 16-hour days, and was proud of every dollar he earned. But something strange kept happening. No matter how much money came in, it slipped away just as fast. Clients canceled unexpectedly. Partners walked out. A major investor pulled funding days before launch. Ethan blamed the economy. Then he blamed bad luck. But deep down, he knew. He had cut corners. He promised more than he delivered. He treated people like tools, not humans. And though no one ever said it to his face, he could feel it. His reputation was eroding, and his business, like a tree with rotting roots, collapsed from the inside out. Meanwhile, Lena ran a small accounting firm in the same city. She didn't make headlines. She wasn't flashy. But year after year, her business grew steadily. She had loyal clients who recommended her to others. She paid her employees well and treated them with kindness. And when a struggling client couldn't pay on time, she gave them grace instead of penalties. 10 years later, Lena had 3 offices and more work than she could handle. People said she was lucky, but luck had nothing to do with it. She had planted seeds of trust, respect, and quiet integrity. And over time, they grew into a forest of abundance. Ethan chased money. Lena cultivated value. And that difference made all the difference. Ethan's story is not rare. Many people wonder why success slips away so fast, even when they work hard. But effort alone doesn't grow lasting wealth. It's the invisible roots that matter. Character, values, how you treat people, how you handle pressure, how you act when no one is looking. Because money doesn't just follow effort, it follows alignment. When your actions align with trust, fairness, and contribution, you're building soil that wealth can grow in. Without it, you might bloom fast, but you won't last. Wealth has roots, and if you want your wealth to rise high, you have to go deep first. Chapter 32. What greed costs. At first, greed doesn't look dangerous. It looks like ambition. It looks like winning. It looks like someone getting ahead while others are left behind. But over time, greed shows its true face. It doesn't just take from others, It takes from you, your peace, your reputation, your future. Tyler was a rising star in the real estate world. In just 3 years, he went from being an assistant to owning 4 investment properties. He drove a luxury car, threw lavish parties, and taught others how to scale fast. But behind the scenes, it was all built on shaky ground. He fudged numbers to secure loans. He pressured tenants into unfair contracts. He used fear and manipulation to win deals. For a while it worked. He looked unstoppable, until one tenant recorded a conversation and leaked it online. Then an audit revealed loan fraud. Then partners pulled out. And just like that, the empire collapsed. People didn't just stop doing business with Tyler. They stopped trusting him. And no amount of money could fix that. On the other side of town, Angela owned a small cafe. She had chances to cut corners, cheaper ingredients, underpaid staff, shady tax deals, but she refused. Her growth was slow. She often felt behind compared to her peers, but her team was loyal. Her customers kept coming back. And when the city launched a new food initiative, she was one of the first to receive a major grant. Angela didn't get rich fast, but she built something that lasted. And more importantly, she could sleep at night. No lies, no fear of being found out, no regret. Greed is seductive. It tells you that the fastest path is the smartest one. It tells you that you're missing out unless you push harder, take more, demand more. But what it doesn't tell you is what it will cost in the long run. The stress, the broken relationships, the moments when you no longer like who you've become. Because the money gained through greed rarely stays. And even if it does, it comes with a weight that drags you down from within. What greed costs is never just money. It's trust. It's peace. It's the future you could have had if you had built it right. Chapter 33. Returns you can't see. Some of the best financial decisions you'll ever make won't show up on your bank statement. They won't come with a direct payout. No bonus, no paycheck, no applause. But they will pay you back in ways you don't expect, and at times you most need it. Marcus worked in IT support. He wasn't rich, but he had enough. And he had a rule: help people without keeping score. He stayed late when coworkers were stuck. He fixed systems on weekends without demanding overtime. He taught interns instead of ignoring them. People remembered. One day, the company faced layoffs. Managers had to decide who to keep. No one even hesitated. Keep Marcus. 2 years later, a former intern started her own tech firm. Her first hire? Marcus, with triple his previous salary. He didn't ask for any of it, but the returns came anyway. Meanwhile, Jason ran a freelance design business. He was talented but difficult. He charged premium rates and refused revisions. He avoided small jobs and ignored messages from low-budget clients. He believed his time was too valuable to waste on people who couldn't pay top dollar. At first, he made quick cash, but soon the calls slowed. Referrals dried up. Past clients didn't return. And one day, a big pitch fell through. Not because his work wasn't good, but because the client had heard how he treated others. Jason had earned money, but he had lost goodwill. And that's a form of currency, too. There's more than one kind of wealth. Money is just one layer. Underneath it are the things that create lasting success: trust, respect, gratitude, reputation. These don't show up on income reports, but they shape your future, silently and powerfully. They open doors you didn't even know existed. They protect you in downturns. They compound, like interest, through years of small, good choices. Returns you can't see are the ones that matter most. They grow in the background. And one day, they show up when you need them most, as grace, as opportunity, as abundance you never expected. Chapter 34. What you inherit. Not all inheritance comes in the form of money. Some of it is passed down quietly, in the way you think, in the way you fear, in the way you love or avoid money. You may not realize it, but what you carry wasn't always yours to begin with. Darren grew up in a house where money was war. His parents fought over every dollar. Bills were paid late, credit card collectors called daily, and even when things got better, the fear never left. So when Darren started earning well in his 30s, he couldn't enjoy it. He hoarded every cent. He panicked at small expenses. He refused to help his siblings, afraid he'd end up like mom and dad. He wasn't poor, but he lived like he was, because poverty had left its mark, not just on his wallet, but on his worldview. Across the city, Ruth had a different inheritance. Her grandparents had little in material wealth, but they gave generously. They shared food. They took in neighbors. They believed that helping others was a form of wealth. Ruth's parents followed the same path. They weren't reckless. They saved and planned. But they always gave first. Ruth grew up seeing money as a tool, not a trophy. She went on to lead a nonprofit that raised millions. She earned a good salary, and she lived without fear. Her bank account was healthy. But more importantly, her relationship with money was healthy. She had inherited a mindset of abundance, not just in dollars, but in dignity. We often think of inheritance as property, land, or a trust fund. But long before we touch those things, we inherit beliefs, habits, ways of thinking. These can become assets or silent debts. If no one ever taught you how to handle money, save wisely, or give freely, that is not your fault. But it is your responsibility now, because what you inherited is not the same as what you have to pass on. You can heal old patterns. You can break cycles. You can leave something better behind, even if it wasn't given to you. What you inherit shapes you, but what you choose will define you. Chapter 35. Choices shape wealth. It's easy to believe that wealth is made through big moments, landing the perfect job, buying the right stock, launching a business at the perfect time. But real wealth, the kind that lasts, is shaped by smaller things. Quiet choices, private decisions, habits that seem invisible, until they aren't. Daniel once cheated on a small contract. It was just a few numbers on an invoice. No one noticed. The client paid, and Daniel made an extra $1,000. Easy win, or so he thought. But something shifted. He started cutting more corners, and it spread into other contracts, into relationships, into how he saw himself. 5 years later, his business was struggling. People didn't say it out loud, but they didn't trust him. They moved their work elsewhere. No lawsuit, no scandal, just quiet exits. Daniel didn't lose money in one big crash. He lost it drip by drip, from choices that no longer aligned with who he wanted to be. Meanwhile, Clara worked as a bookkeeper. Every day, she handled other people's money with care. She double-checked every entry, admitted mistakes, refused offers to adjust things under the table. She didn't think anyone noticed. She was just doing the right thing. But people talked. Clients referred her. Her reputation grew. Years later, one of those clients introduced her to a startup founder. He needed someone he could trust. She joined the team, received equity, and when the company sold, Clara walked away with more than $1 million. Not because she chased money, but because she made thousands of small, honest decisions when no one was watching. Every day you choose whether to tell the truth, whether to help or ignore, whether to walk away from temptation or lean into it. These choices don't feel financial in the moment, but they shape who you become. And who you become attracts or repels the kind of wealth you'll live with. Choices shape wealth, not overnight, but surely, quietly, and in ways that last far longer than money ever will. Chapter 36. Be someone's gain. We spend most of our lives trying to gain wealth, gain status, gain comfort. But somewhere along the way, we forget a truth that changes everything. The most powerful kind of wealth isn't what you gain. It's who gains because of you. Michael was a brilliant manager. He hit targets, cut costs, raised profits, but no one wanted to work for him. He was cold, critical, only spoke to correct mistakes. People left, teams collapsed. And though he always found new jobs, he never built anything lasting. No one stayed loyal. No one followed him when he moved on. He gained promotions, but lost people. And in the long run, that cost more than he ever made. Meanwhile, Joy led a small team at a non-profit. She wasn't rich, she wasn't famous, but she showed up. When someone made a mistake, she coached, not punished. When a team member had a win, she shared the credit. When someone was struggling, she listened. Over time, people flourished under her care. Some moved on to bigger roles. Others stayed and helped her build something real. Years later, when Joy launched her own company, dozens of former colleagues reached out, invested, referred clients, offered to join her team, because she had given them something more than a paycheck. She had helped them grow. She had made them feel rich in purpose, in confidence, in self-worth. You are always leaving something behind. In every interaction, every relationship, every choice. Are you making people feel smaller or stronger, poorer or richer, even if just in hope, clarity, or belief? True wealth is not measured by what you keep, but by what others become because of you. The real return on investment is how much good you leave in others, how many doors you open, how many burdens you lift, how many futures you shape. Be someone's gain. Let your presence be profitable, not just to you, but to everyone around you. That is the highest form of wealth, and the only kind that time cannot take away.